guys. They watch them because of their influence, attractiveness, and in the case of people like Hassan, parroting political talking points their audience already believes.
Political brain rot, okay.
Now, I'm not really a politics guy. I could care less about what Hassan's or any other streamer's political beliefs are. However, that doesn't mean I should ignore their scummy tactics when it comes to spreading a message. What many in Hassan's audience don't realize is that this guy is an idiot. A manipulative idiot who is a self-admitted propagandist.
But it's interesting that you call me a propagandist, because I want to play you. This was your reaction to when the hospital got bombed.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no,
for the record.
I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying, I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay, well then, I want to
I'm saying I am.
I just want to
even play it.
My problem with this is that Hassan tries to downplay himself as just a simple Twitch streamer when he gets backlash for his news reporting.
Brother, there is no reason for me to say Twitch streamers are stupid. You already know it. You watch Twitch. You know it. We're dumb as f, myself included, okay? The f do you mean? If I was a smart person, I wouldn't be getting ritualistically humiliated by socially maladjusted freaks that are agoraphobic on a daily basis in a mass harassment campaign online. But I do that for a living.
Other times, he'll treat himself as this important news source, despite getting stories wrong again and again.
I am not held up by the same journalistic standards, even though I think I do a much better job than most other news outlets in general.
This was especially evident during his coverage of the Israel-Palestine conflict, where he reported on incidents without knowing the full story. Willie Maxshow did a great job covering all this, showing multiple examples. Hassan portrays himself as an on-the-ground news reporter, despite him usually just sitting in his room reading tweets. Fucking Boblox is more of an on-the-ground news reporter. This dude is not a viable source of information. He's a biased hypocrite with no sense of morality. This guy did an interview with a self-admitted terrorist and praised him by comparing him to Luffy from One Piece.
Is it Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
The whole way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes, that's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god, dude. We think the Houthis Ansar Allah is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
I've never seen One Piece, but from what I've heard, that guy has never attacked civilian ships and taken hostages. But Hassan's core audience didn't care, and even made memes about the guy. And whenever people gave Hassan reasonable criticism, he calls them racists. This is something Hassan does a lot, label his opposition as something harmful to not engage in any worthwhile discussions, and he has such a tough guy attitude about it, saying he'd beat the shit out of a Nazi. And then, when someone he claims is a Nazi wanted to fight him in a boxing match, he ignored it and banned anyone from chat who mentioned it. Then, when fans of Hassan's asked him about it at TwitchCon, he freaked out like a little bitch.
Sam Hyde, he called you out on like a boxing event. Are you interested in like the boxing scene or not?
No, I don't know why you guys are so into this shit. He's a Nazi. Like, I don't know. What are you doing?
What's happening right now?
It's so whack, bro. Like, I don't understand why all you motherfuckers have to like run around with this shit.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. Get the fuck out of my face, bro.
We're gonna accept Sam Hyde's fight offer.
What? I don't, dude. No. Why are you fucking talking to me about some dumbass fucking weirdo Nazi?
Wait,
what's wrong with you? What's wrong? Explain yourself.
What do you mean?
You think it's fucking funny, dude?
There's another instance where Hassan was arguing about trans issues and blatantly calling anyone slightly opposing him as transphobic. Then, when a trans fan of his says they disagree, he becomes transphobic.
I hope that the rest of your life is as horrible as it is every single day, okay? There you go. Suck my dick. I despise you. I despise you more than anything else on the planet. You are fucking cancer, okay? You are cancer in this community, and you're cancer in every community. Suck my dick. For the past 15 months, you've been able to fucking hide in these ranks. You catboy. Move your catboy ass out of here. You are never welcome. You are never going to be unbanned, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how much you want to get unbanned. I'll never unban you. You are now banished into the fucking shadow realm.
Hassan's audience usually doesn't care, as they only watch him to hear what they want to hear. He's a grifter who parrots far-left talking points to make money off of those online who suffer from political brain rot. Cause let's be real, this guy is not some hard-working socialist fighting for the common people. He's a rich capitalist who makes money off of other people's hard work. Or as some like to say, he's a campaign socialist. This dude reacts to other people's videos and tweets for a living, donates money his fans raised for him, owns a Porsche Taycan, lives in a nearly $3 million mansion, and grew up rich due to his family. I mean, his uncle is the founder of the Young Turks, for heaven's sake. He says he hates capitalism so much, but reaps all the benefits from it. I mean, this guy wears a tax the rich t-shirt, and then complained on Twitter when the Mexican government had to tax him for bringing over so much camera equipment. This dude also thinks the concept of intellectual property shouldn't exist, meaning he thinks it's right for anybody to re-upload anything they want without actually owning it.
I think that as far as like rigorous control over IP, I personally don't have it. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good thing.
What do you mean you don't believe in it? I don't understand what that means. You think that people should be able to steal your videos and upload it?
Yeah.
This coming from the guy who watches full episodes of TV shows on streams, while getting donations. I remember when he wanted to debate Too Mad a couple of years ago over political shit, and he instead ignored him to watch an entire episode of MasterChef.
You think if I stop right now to go fucking debate on memes that were popping 3 hours ago with Too Mad, you think these people are gonna be happy?
Ooh, you pussy! You pussy! Oh my god, he's putting me in the same spot as Destiny. He's like, oh my god, I'm scared. He's so good at making like the most bitch-made, scared ass sound cool.
Memes that were popping 3 hours ago.
It's not memes. He calls it memes because it gives him an out. I'm not giving you an out. I came for your head.
Should I debate Too Mad instead of watching MasterChef?
Yes, you should. I'm too mad. I'm literally retarded. There's less retarded than you.
I also have to mention Hassan's stooge, Frogan. She's basically this whiny, chronically online streamer who started out as a moderator for Hassan. Her and Casey Tron have recently been making these idiotic takes, where if you're not constantly talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict, you're basically supporting genocide. This is some Noah Samson levels of bad faith. When made fun of for this, these two basically made lame insults. Later, Frogan called out Ludwig after he donated $10K to a pro-Palestine fundraiser because he didn't do it publicly enough. She's mad he didn't make a massive deal out of it, and called him a cracker.
So I personally donated $10K. Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some
Where's
bread,
your
I would
chat
already
not
donate.
moving?
But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Difference between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Take. Thinking about it, like, think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine. Think about the Twitch streamers that haven't, or like streamers in general. We're gonna go to YouTube as well. YouTube and Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine until engagement was threatened. You know? But the ones that got the most shit for talking about Palestine since October 7th have been me, Caroline, Hassan.
By the way, this is the same woman who cried after Mizkiff made this joke.
Broken was there last year. How are you a rising star twice? A falling star award? Bro, that'd be so funny. I would clear.
Honestly, okay, it makes me really upset. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to cry, but it really does make me really upset.
I'm sure these people actually care about this conflict, but constantly posting stuff like this makes it seem more like you care about virtue signaling than actually contributing something positive for the world.
I'm sorry, I forgot to say, you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hassan, at least pretend. Do it off stream. Please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
No.
No soda, son.
I didn't know it was like that.
But the thing is, nobody cares about them as a person. They just want to hear their political takes parroted back at them. In Hassan's case, nobody ever watches his content, unless it's a reaction or a political rant. When he was on his Australia trip, barely anybody watched his IRL streams. This pissed him off so much he ranted about it privately, and then played dumb when people asked about it. I honestly don't get why people gave XQC so much shit when he reacted to this Gaza footage, when Hassan does the same. The difference being that Hassan pretends to be smart, but is secretly a whiny ball of caca. XQC is very blatantly a dumbass.
Sparky's favorite snack is red.
It grows
Classic.
Apple.
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 Sparky's favorite snack?
Apple.
Apples, yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
There's nothing special about Mr. Piker. He's just a massive hypocrite. But there's one issue he's very hypocritical about,
dude.
though a ton of other streamers share the same mentality. Back in February, I released an episode of Idiot Influencers about OnlyFans influencers. The purpose of this video is to point out legitimate issues I have with these content creators. I criticized them for promoting lewd content to minors, pushing for parasocial relationships, and acting entitled, while also trying to push a false narrative about how successful this line of work can be. And the main group of people I called out for promoting that was the poggers community. These guys will gladly promote OF and fansly creators, though it's for ulterior motives. They want money, and will gladly take sponsorships from them to the detriment of their audience's mental health. They don't care if their viewers suffer from porn addictions. I mean, some of them don't even believe in porn addictions. There's also breadtubers like Ethan is Online, who outright said it's not real.
Porn addiction is actually one of the most over-reported addictions, despite the majority of people who report that they have it not actually exhibiting any symptoms of real porn addiction, to the point where there are prominent psychologists and sex researchers who argue that porn addiction isn't even a real thing. So comparing porn addiction to something like actual hard drugs is fucking insane.
However, this has not been updated since 2013, and there have been many studies conducted since then that suggest that brain activity when viewing pornography is actually similar to that when engaging in other addictive behaviors.
They mostly just say this
It
because
turns
they want to
into a
promote
little
sex work
monkey.
for monetary reasons. I mean, Ethan himself is dating an
But you know,
ethot named Alex
people are
Updog,
made
who thought it was
to
appropriate
do that.
to take
They're
lewd photos
made
inside
so
the
they can have
offices.
children.
This take from Ethan legitimately
So
pisses
obviously
me
when
off.
you look at
He's
porn,
downplaying a serious mental
anything
issue to protect the reputation of a
sexual,
harmful, exploitative industry.
your brain turns
Maybe he
into a
should just
monkey
drink the
brain.
bleach instead of putting
You
it in
don't-
his hair. Now, as hinted at
you just
before,
turn
my biggest
retarded,
gripe with
man.
the poggers community when it comes to this topic is their hypocrisy. They will rightfully call out the negative effects of gambling
It's
in
the
the
same for people that eat food.
not adult
You eat
content.
nice
For
food.
the former,
You get
I think it's a
monkey
fair point to
brain.
make that
Okay,
gambling shouldn't be
if
promoted to
you
minors on Twitch, as that
take
platform
any
is
kind of
13+.
drug,
People were rightfully
it
calling out
turns
the
your
adult
brain
rights
into
stuff
a
for doing the same
monkey
thing back in
brain.
2019. So I'm glad they're consistent when calling out people like XQC and It's Slicker.
I love when people are like, nah, dude, their fucking fans are like not gambling. Like, I love when people are like, nah, dude, we're not, our fans aren't gambling, bro. Like, our fans aren't gambling. We're just doing it. We're just doing it ourselves. Like, we're just doing it to get the bag. It's like, dude, yeah? You think a company is just gonna give you $2 million fucking dollars a month, dude? For an unsuccessful ad campaign?
However, they clearly don't think it's a problem that those same young fans are getting hooked on porn promoted by fellow streamers like Denims, Amaranth, Mordecai, and any other titty streamer on Twitch. Porn websites are already oversaturated, so these adult content creators go on more appropriate sites like Twitch to get a new viewer base, a younger viewer base. There's a podcast I want to bring up, hosted by Casey Schron, Denims, and, Anissa Jamha. This particular episode streamed live on February 27th, 2023. Basically, they bring up their issues of online gambling.
I just assume like they don't have like a lot of money to spend on, I don't know.
That's the saddest part though, is like it's just getting people into debt, and a lot of them, like, online gambling is such a problem. I don't think people know, like, so when, you know, drug addiction, food addiction, all these things, like, you can see it on a person. Gambling addiction, you know, someone can hide that for a very long
I mean,
time.
you guys saw Slicker, like
Only 30 minutes earlier, Anissa said this about adult content.
It's funny because they're doing, like, he did exactly what they're always like, you know, like, oh, here's these fucking cam girls showing fucking porn to 12-year-olds. And it's like, we all know here that, like, those cam girls, like, don't have, like, a
Yeah,
12-year-old audience. Like, I'm sure there's, like, some curious, like, boys that go in there every once in a while. But for the most part, it's like they're fucking watching games. Like, they're not watching Amaranth. Like, but
They
it's
are,
just
for
funny.
sure.
I don't know. The hypocrisy is just so funny.
If you see
and I
the
guess it's just
thumbnail,
like, wow, so it really
if you're
is
like- if
only
you're
wrong
12
because it's a woman.
or 14
You know,
or
it's just
whatever,
like, wow, they really hate
you
women.
click on that shit.
Same with like OnlyFans, like people.
The
being
people
mad
that
about
don't
OnlyFans,
click on
but
that
not
are
Pornhub,
me,
right? Like,
the
I mean, now
mature
they
adult
move the
people,
goalposts to, like, porn is
or
bad.
yeah,
I've seen a
somewhat
lot of, like,
mature.
these, like,
If you're a little
radical
child,
lies, men.
you click on
Sorry,
that.
my nose is so fucking plugged right now.
You're right, though.
Uh,
They are starting
if
with this
you're
whole, like, porn is bad, just
in
like
your
Aiden
20s
was on about, because it's some Andrew Tate shit,
and
isn't
you're
it?
not
It's
a complete
we're
man
going
child,
back to purity culture. Like we're
you don't
reverting
click on that. Come
further
on.
and further
You
back
know, you're just
into,
wasting
like,
your time.
This, like, I think they're trying to get
Maybe
back
people
to
that click
this
on that
time
are
period
actual
where they
children.
felt like they were in more control overall, right? Which is like this purity Christian.
'Cause they have a
like,
monkey brain.
Saving yourself for your
They're
partner.
children, they have a
or
monkey
whatever
brain.
The, like porn rots your brain or whatever the argument is. But it started with OnlyFans, and I 100% believe that it's an anger towards
Yeah.
like women having full
The
control
little
over their
children,
body and
they
being
are
able to
feral.
decide, like,
That's
sold
what you
at
call
what
it.
price
They're
and,
feral
you know,
because they have
who
a
they're
monkey
gonna sell it
brain.
to. And it's really weird because you'll hear a lot of these men talk
They
about
they
how,
can't
like,
think
OnlyFans,
maturely.
like, women, but a lot of the top creators on OnlyFans are men. A lot of men.
Oh,
who
my
get a
chat
bag
knows.
on
My chat knows.
Yeah, like Nick Cotto Avocado is fucking like.
Okay, first of all, I do agree that people like Aiden Ross and Fresh and Fit are also hypocrites when discussing this topic. They pretend to be against it and then surround themselves with sex workers. However, framing all critics as misogynistic is a gross way to represent detractors. I also have an issue with men promoting adult content. I mean, one of the creators I called out in that previous episode was Jack Doherty, who promotes his own OF, and the OF of other girls to his audience of 13-year-old boys. And yes, girls, there are a lot of young boys watching explicit content on Twitch. Denims and others like her have to downplay this, as it could hurt their bottom line.
Use of Twitch by minors. The Twitch services are not available to persons under the age of 13. If you are between the ages of 13 and the age of a legal majority in your jurisdiction of residence, you may only use the Twitch services under the supervision of a parent or legal guardian who agrees to be bound by these terms of services.
Yeah, pretty sure it's easy to get past these loose restrictions, Denims. Just admit there are young teen boys getting porn addictions from you guys, but she won't. She thinks all criticism is just sexism or whorephobia. People aren't arguing for purity culture, we just want you guys to act of common decency. In the same stream, she tries to downplay the Twitch thought epidemic by saying these e-girls are only showing a bit of a shoulder and weren't being promoted.
Guess what? They literally say if you're a kid, you need parent supervision. Yeah, well, do you actually expect kids to ask for parent supervision? Okay, should we just nuke the internet of anything R-rated? Since kids are just gonna lie anyways? It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. Oh my God. No, everybody knows that kids will get on the internet and lie about being 18 on Twitch, but when they go to Pornhub, they don't lie about their age. And then the other argument that's always used is, yeah, but the thing is, kids go on there and they don't expect to see boobs. Seeing some shoulders isn't going to give your kid permanent trauma, you goddamn prudish motherfuckers. All right? I promise you, your kids are not going to get traumatized seeing a bit of shoulder.
Nope, not true. This shit was plastered on the homepage for a while, and some of these girls, like Strawberry Tabby, were straight up showing their assholes to the camera. I can't even show you this or else my video will get nuked to the shadow realm. Obviously minors are going to find porn, but it shouldn't be outwardly advertised to them on a 13+ website. That is what people are criticizing, though Denims is using a strawman fallacy to distract people.
I went to Twitch to see if this was real, and surely enough it was, and it wasn't just one streamer, it was many, it was multiple. It was the entire home page. And then when you went to click on one of the streams, it just took you there. No verification needed, no login required, nothing. And the whole internet pretty much agreed this was insane. Not everyone.
Back to that podcast episode. During the beginning, they discussed the mental health of young people like themselves.
There's an increase in sexual assault in young people.
Really? I haven't heard that. That's...
Yeah.
I haven't heard this at all.
24% increase, and that was before Roe v. Wade. So these numbers are coming in before that happened. Young women are more depressed. So clearly the system is not working for anyone. And I think that even we're feeling it, and we're very lucky where we can be pretty removed from the system and society if we choose to be. And if even we're feeling it, people that have to function in society every day. So it's nice for us to vent to each other and talk about these things because, I mean, if we don't, we're gonna explode, to be honest.
Huh, what could be the cause of those issues? I know. Here are the effects of having a porn addiction. Unrealistic sexual beliefs and values, an overfocus or obsession with sex, sexually aggressive behaviors, an earlier interest in having sex, promiscuity, sexually permissive behaviors, questions about their own body, behavioral problems, depressive feelings, bonding issues with others, questions about their own sexual performance. But no, this culture couldn't be the problem, despite promoting a toxic system that tells young women that they should sell themselves as a product for mentally disturbed men to buy. A system that tells women that it's empowering to show their naked bodies to the world, yet only causes these women to be even more insecure about them. A system that tells these women that they can be successful, despite the average OnlyFans model only making around $150 a month. A system that gets thousands of women sexually exploited and even trafficked by shitty promoters. This is not a system we should be promoting, yet many in the poggers community will gladly do it, thinking it's empowering to young women. I mean, they have Fansly as one of their biggest sponsors, despite these guys being rich enough to not need them. They've sponsored Creator Clash, the Streamer Awards, and even this game show called Juiced. It was created by Ludwig and hosted by XQC, with various adult content creators appearing as contestants. They did this only to show the asses of ST Peach and Amaranth in the thumbnail. Oh, and speaking of Amaranth, she made an AI version of herself that she flat out lied about. In an interview of Tube Filter, she was asked if the service would contribute negatively to the loneliness epidemic. She said, "A lot of people are saying this type of thing is the cause of the loneliness epidemic. I disagree. This doesn't cause loneliness. It's probably closer to being therapeutic. It's what people reach for to refrain from feeling alone. Yeah, I'm pretty sure having your fans interact with an AI girlfriend isn't going to help them with their mental problems. It's only going to make them worse." As I said in that content creators episode, this is like stopping someone's weed addiction by giving them crack. She just wants to make money off her legion of simps, who she has a grip over due to forming parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are one-sided relationships.
Okay, what I don't love about this, I think a lot of these social studies are just stupid. The reason for that is they see people as statistics, right? They never look at people individually. They always look at how many people have this, how many people have that, what percentage of people have this. They look at them as just another part of the system, but you need to look at them as individuals,
energy,
man.
interest, and time, and the other
You're not gonna
party,
help
the
anybody.
persona, is completely unaware
If
of
you
the
tell
other's
them,
existence.
well, you
This
might
perfectly
be like
sums up the
that,
type of viewers
or
these streamers
you can
have,
be part of
as
this
their
group, and then a
behavior
little
usually
part of this
encourage
group,
it.
and a part of
Streamers
that
like
group.
myself rely on
And
ad
to
revenue
to
or
solve
YouTube
that, because you're
reach
part
to
of
make
these
money.
groups,
But Twitch
means
streamers
you
like Hassan, Ludwig, and
you need to do
Posty
this, and you
make
need to do
money
this,
off
and you need to
direct
stop doing
donations or
that.
Twitch subs from fans.
Man, you
Now, I
need
don't have
to
a problem with that
just
itself,
find
but
help
these
for
guys have
yourself.
tendencies to manipulate their audiences. They interact
Try to
with
look
them
at
a
your
lot,
own problems
basically acting as a
individually,
friendship simulator. When
maturely.
these streamers react to something,
Ask
they
someone you
make it out to be
trust,
this massive watch
your
party.
parents,
If they
grandparents,
didn't encourage viewers
just
to have
some
parasocial relationships
person who
with
you
them,
think is
they wouldn't be
mature,
getting any money.
who you trust,
Ludwig in particular
and
doesn't
who
seem to
you
realize this,
think you can
as they
talk
released a
to.
video in
Ask them.
2020
You,
called
I have
Not
these,
Your Friend.
I have this issue.
know this, but
Ask away at me, man.
listen loud and clear.
See
None
where
of
it comes
your
from.
content creators, your favorite ones,
You don't need to go to a
including me,
fucking therapist.
are
You can
your
just
friends.
ask somebody.
Now, again,
Anyone
it's
you,
not just to
you
make you feel
trust.
bad or
Maybe even a
whatever, it's
friend.
just the truth. Look, I have 1 million subscribers, but I don't know 1 million people in the world. I don't know how many people you can know. I don't even think I know all my Facebook friends. All right, I don't even know all the people I follow on Twitter. How many people are you actually friends with? For me, it's like 20, 25.
True.
This video is pretty noble at the surface level, but actions speak louder than words. I mean, he's basically
No, but
joking
you're
about
all
this
over.
video's effectiveness.
I'm flipping the script. All right, rest of 2022. I love you guys. I love you. We did this. You guys, hey, little buddies. I'm your friends, guys. Come on, little buddies. Let's just have a good time this year. Let's just me and you guys just hang out. Come on, little buddies. We'll have a great year.
During the iDubbbz discourse last year, the streamer Stan had this to say regarding responsibility over one's audience.
If you want to, look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does.
I completely agree. And there are so many fucking content creators out there that just leave that at the door. They like turn on, they go in their computer and they do their content and do this. And the second they're offline, they just like let the snowball go down the hill. You are absolutely responsible for your audience and what they're saying and doing and what's happening in different discords and stuff. You have to. No one else can be. You are the mother that birthed that audience, right? They are a reflection of
them?
you.
They're
It makes me
responsible
sick
for
to think of like
themselves.
what you guys might say and do in other channels. That's why I'm like very strict here, right?
Willie Maxshow responded with the following tweet. You were not responsible for your audience unless you directly told them to do something. They are their own people. If you have 100,000 viewers, statistically speaking, one of them is going to be unhinged. Ludwig then got involved in this discussion by saying, the argument that statistically, 1 in 100,000 people will be unhinged, so you bear no responsibility over the other 99,999 is incredibly weak. No, Ludwig, you are not responsible for them, unless you directly tell them to do something. Your fans should be smart enough to know right from wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, even your own core fan base of 13-year-olds should know that. It's very clear he's saying this to virtue signal some form of morality over his audience, which goes against him saying he doesn't want a parasocial relationship with them. This is the same guy who claims to care about men's mental health, while at the same time, proudly pushing porn websites that negatively affect men's mental health. Just quit pretending to have the moral high ground. Just admit to your faults and stop preaching your loose sense of morality. Ludwig is basically Hassan's lapdog. He made an incredibly tame joke about Hassan in a video, and took the whole thing down due to being pressured.
As a streamer myself for almost 6 years now, on how hard it really is. I'm kidding. I would look. I just.
Oh God, it's just like. What's funny is you haven't even addressed this again since then. I know. It's just an opportunity for every single person to be like, look guys, I'm a content creator. I'm really privileged. Like, yeah, dog, we all are. We all talk about it all the fucking time.
He then remade the video, basically sucking on Hassan's Turkish cock.
People don't really give a shit about the context. People don't really give a shit about the conversation. They just care about getting Twitter likes, which is all this really is, which is why people like fucking Keemstar are tweeting out shit like this. Just, you know, just for a dunk sesh. Because nobody gives a fucking shit. Nobody gives a rat's ass about the facts or about any people involved. They just care about a little Twitter like, little impression. Right? That's why they tweet. Dumb. What is this? Look at this shit they tweet, bro. Why do they all look like Twitch streamers? They don't. What are we doing here?
He's what people think Moist Critical is. A fence-sitting nonce with no backbone.
Nate, you ain't funny. That's not true.
Classic.
Maybe you're just boring as fuck.
Pokimane is even worse when it comes to parasocial relationships, as she usually victimizes herself when she faces any form of backlash. She also uses this annoying PR voice to seem like a reasonable person, which is a hide how truly spiteful she is. I mean, this bitch attacked someone's sponsors for simply criticizing her, took someone's video down via false copyright notice, got Jidion banned for raiding her chat, and thinks it should be illegal to troll someone on the internet. It's very clear how soft of a person she is, despite how aggressive she can be towards others. She's literally just that mean girl from high school who hasn't grown up yet, thinking that acting nice will offset the fact that she's a fake cunt. I mean, some of her own friends in the poggers community have called her out for this. When XQC was switching over to Kick, she became incredibly hostile online while trying to demean him. She's upset that he's moving over to a rival platform, as Twitch now doesn't allow gambling. She thinks other streamers will also make this switch, which she doesn't like, since she's basically a paid shill for Twitch. This makes her come off as a hypocrite, especially when she argues against gambling.
XQC is getting money from gambling losses and you're getting money from capitalist Amazon. Which one is worse? Honestly, at least in capitalism, people give money and get a product, whether it's overcharged, whether it's whatever. Gambling is like it's a mental addiction where you get nothing out of it.
What she's describing can also be said for parasocial relationships. I mean, on Twitter alone, she's always posting photos of herself to encourage her legion of simps to compliment her. If anybody simply calls her out for this, she blocks them. She also has the tendency to talk down to her audience like they're a bunch of kindergartners. This is usually over the pettiest shit too.
What is this? Valorant is not good content if you don't. You have shock darts, you have this. Why don't you 5-stack with Immortal Smurfs? Why don't you start anime? Babe, if you want to interview me, go get a go get a journalist degree and then hit up my business emails. It's weird behavior. It's just really weird behavior and you need to stop. And I know it might be easier
That's the PR void.
pinpoint or point out every little thing about my life that you disagree with instead of taking a look at your own and figuring out what you want to do or what you feel so inadequate that you can't even look at your own life and instead you're so focused on mine.
Fuck up, bitch.
This is very unhealthy for you. It's a waste of your time. You're not bettering yourself in any way.
I like how she's only saying this about the one rowdy guy in chat, but has a completely different take when it comes to her loyal fans.
I came here to check the Simpson chat. Simp, you're a simp. I was going through a simp hunting phase. It was just a phase. I want you to know that's really weird and low-key, because why do you even care if someone were hypothetically simping? Huh? You're sad they love someone that ain't you, and that it's a woman? Literally, what does that have to do with you? You know, if your parents are together, your dad probably simps for your mom.
You use capital letters and type out the words, man.
Normal part of loving other humans.
It's annoying.
Maybe you don't know anything about
Unreadable.
that. In which case, sorry. Hope you learn someday. But still, don't ruin it for others or be... Oh, fuck. I really do feel like sometimes I could talk about this shit forever. Isn't it weird that young boys are being told simping is so terrible? If you are doting on a woman, that is so terrible. But like, it's not.
Here, she's blatantly defending those who simp or lust after her, hiding her vitriol for this guy, calling her out by acting goofy. Secretly, she probably loathes this guy for exposing this idea, but her fans won't ever call her out for this. I mean, she shits on her audience pretty regularly, especially during the cookie drama. Now, I could give less of a shit about her selling overpriced cookies. My problem was her response to the backlash.
Like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Most people were against her for this, yet those in the poggers community like Hassan had to defend her. Not because she was in the right, but because they're friends. Though if he was a true friend, he'd be encouraging her to do better, not make things worse. They have this sort of herd mentality, always weeding out those like most critical who have a different opinion than them. And this has led to a massive ego boost. This has resulted in the poggers community wanting to be like Hollywood, so they created their own award shows.
Oh yeah, these are terrible.
Internet creators have been doing award shows for over a decade now, with the most notable one being the Streamy Awards, which began back in 2009. At first it celebrated web shows, but soon expanded to celebrating content creators.
It's not really just
the ones
streamers.
who actually make content. These untalented Twitch streamers wanted a piece of that pie, so one of them created their own award show. That would be QT Cinderella, Ludwig's girlfriend, who began the Streamer Awards in early 2022. God, what a lazy name. It's basically like those shitty knockoff films you'd find in the bargain bin at Walmart. Basically, this is a show for streamers, specifically those in the poggers community and those adjacent to them. Nothing interesting happened to the first one, besides 2 clones of Moist Critical accepting an award.
Moist Critical!
Let's fucking go! I hope he prepared. I hope they prepared his speech.
I feel like I just pulled a PSA 10 first edition Charizard Baseless Shadowless while Belle Delphine was playing with my nipples and Nico Kato Avocado was licking my asshole. I just want to say thank you guys so much for this. I want to thank the Moist Critical team, Charlie, and Charlie. And I just want to say this is the best thing that's happened since Netflix got rid of cuties. It's the best thing that's happened to my life since I first got my first Moby Huge and sat on it for 24 hours straight. I just want you guys to know that this means the world to me, and I feel like Thanos snapped away half my sadness, and the remaining half is just gonna stay with me.
I hope he
and
just
make me
goes
a
all night.
happier, more complete person, and I will grow. So with that all said, I just want to say, woo, yeah, baby!
What the fuck?
Sorry, I just had to show that clip. It's the only good thing that ever happens at these boring ass shows. They're pretty much just circle jerks, but this friend group gives each other awards for self-validation. QTC is also a really uninteresting host. During the second annual Streamer Awards, she tried making some edgier jokes, which got a mixed reaction from the audience. They're here to get praised, not made fun of.
It's the second annual Streamer Awards, and this year's show, we've made some changes. We dropped some categories like Best GTA Streamer, and added new ones like Best at Convincing Their Audience They Still Deserve a Platform.
I guarantee a lot of them are soft and can't stand self-deprecation, and I can say the same for QTC, who can definitely dish it out but can't take an edgy joke herself. Remember when Atrioc accidentally showed a browser tab of a deepfake website? The one with deepfaked porn of QTC and Pokimane? Well, Ethan Klein accidentally got the case of the giggles while watching her response.
If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually,
You're a monster, dude.
Sure, it's fucked up, but it's funny. Basically, QTC and the rest of the poggers community begged him to apologize, but I guess QTC only thinks it's okay to make fun of other people's misfortune, but not our own.
Twitch banned gambling this year, which was great because it shows that they're willing to take a stance and they're concerned for their viewers and their content creators, just not concerned enough to check how deep the foam pit is.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So this here is Asmongold, someone I've barely talked about in this video. He's just another generic streamer, who looks like a mentally handicapped and white's critical.
So here we go. I'm about to make myself retarded.
He's a disgusting clout goblin. That
Classic.
sounds harsh, but this guy literally lives in his own filth. He's a multi-millionaire, but he can't even clean his own room. He's basically Conway the Contaminationist from Courage the Cowardly Dog. At this event, he won the award for Best MMORPG Streamer, and had this to say.
So thank you guys for voting for me. I want to say that I've always said that the best apology, the best way to say thank you is to just make more content, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So you can look forward to a bright 2023 of me watching YouTube videos, reading Reddit posts, and then also reading YouTube comments after I watch the YouTube video. I'm really excited to be able to do that. It's going to be super fun, and who knows, maybe I actually might do it on the channel that I won this award for.
Now usually I'd applaud him for making a self-deprecating joke, but I'm not sure if he's fully self-aware. Joking about how lazy your content is doesn't make it better. In fact, it makes it worse. And there are quite a few similar jokes made during this show.
Every year we see innovation from Just Chatting streamers as they push boundaries and ask the question, how can we do even less? Presenting the award for Best Just Chatting streamer brought to us by Twitch is Agent Zero.
These people know how lazy their shit is, but they want to prove it. Think about it. These are a bunch of untalented, rich streamers who don't add anything positive to the content creation sphere at all. This is literally just the Oscars, though at least those guys actually have talent. These guys just sit on their asses all day and make their audiences believe they're friends to make money off their naivety. Now, not every single person here is lazy. You do have certain creators who deserve recognition, but the main talents are morally bankrupt people like Hassan or Amaranth. Honestly though, who are these other names? These are like nobody streamers. Do they just give out awards to like random streamers of 50 views just because they're friends with them? Now, who won Streamer of the Year? Well, for the past 2 years, it's been Kai Cenat. Kai isn't part of the poggers community. Instead, he's in what's known as the W community. This is made up of more risque streamers like Kai, Gideon, iShowSpeed, Aiden Ross, and Yo Rage. Many of the big names in the poggers community are secretly jealous of their success, as they don't rely on a fake, goody two-shoes reputation and wholesome image to make money. Kai won these awards due to an audience vote, so QTC had to accept his win. He didn't show up, cause this event is a waste of time for him. He doesn't like these guys because they act passive-aggressively to his online presence. Remember that podcast I mentioned earlier? Well, here's a stream from March 13th, 2023, where they discuss this topic.
The thing with Kai is like, Kai is, from my understanding, he's in LA, so he just needs to show up. It wasn't even a matter of like flying to the event. And then also it's like, it feels rude to your community. Like your community voted for you to win this award and then you're not going to show up. If you're not even going to show up, like why even like push for that? Like why even push for your community to vote for you? Why even do any of this stuff, right? Like I feel like you should almost like bow out at that point and give it to people who are actually feel a certain way about their community, you know? It just feels really, I also feel like it really is like quite hurtful, and it's like I feel like there's almost some ego there that everyone else is seeing. Like I can't imagine planning an event and then the last award to celebrate the streamer of the year doesn't even show up.
Doesn't he not involve himself in the streaming community? I feel like he like has separated. He's like said that he doesn't like the poggers community specifically. Like he's not into the
Yeah. See, that's what I don't know. Like honestly, whenever Kai was first like announced as like what's the name, he was nominated or whatever, like I honestly, after what happened with Kai at New Year's, like I just didn't even want to see him like on the ticket or like there at all personally.
What happened at New Year's?
Yes. Kai is the egotistical one, not the other streamers who are giving each other awards. I don't like Kai at all, and I think he's a really irresponsible dude, but this was a good choice on his part. Just the notion that he
I don't
won't
like him
show
because
up
he's
just
short.
these snobs so much, and I love it.
I think he's a fine dude, but
Creator
he's
Clash
short,
is
so
an
I hate
influencer
him.
boxing event started by Anissa Jamha and her husband iDubbbz. It began in 2022 to great success, but Creator Clash 2 fell apart for many reasons.
I think
Something
if-
that isn't speculated upon
if
much is
you
that
are
both events
under
were
the-
clearly made to strengthen the reputation of the
Let's
couple,
put
not
it
just towards their audiences,
5
but for the poggers community. Ian's been clear on multiple occasions that he does not like
if
boxing.
you're under
In
170
fact, the only reason he got
centimeters,
into it was in spite of both Jinx and Rice Gum,
then I
two
don't
people
like
he
you.
criticized in his
You're-
past.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
None?
love boxing. I find it to be very challenging and very difficult to do. And so it's not, when I go into the gym every day, it's like not therapeutic, or it hasn't been very therapeutic for me.
Joking, man.
Or fun. There's moments, where it's like, oh, I'm doing well today, awesome. But it's been very hard. So just like relief that it's over. Stress from the event accumulating because we had, plenty of drama.
Creator Clash is promoted as a charity event to differentiate itself from other influencer boxing events, as blatantly expressed in a rant video. He's basically used the notion of charity as a shield from reasonable criticism. The true purpose of this event was to get a bunch of big YouTubers he's friends with to fight each other and pretend to be boxers for a night. Though even if this is for their reputation, I could care less since it made over $1 million for charity. I can't say the same for Creator Clash 2, which lost $250,000. Ian and Anissa spent way too much money for various expenses, much of which was to please the big streamers they invited. I mean, apparently they paid for their flights, and got Getty images to get their pictures taken. These include those in the poggers community like Hassan, Denims, Frogan, Casey Tron, Ezfund, Amaranth, and various other quote-unquote safe content creators. It's very clear Anissa just wanted to invite a bunch of her streamer friends to come, to get in their good graces, as she then threw various parties. This was to the detriment of charity, though neither Anissa or her husband will admit it.
It makes sense to me as to why Anissa would want to get chummy with this group and why she would roll her eyes at Cass and Net for not wanting to associate with them. Out of all of Anissa's content that I've seen, I've never been impressed once. If she can get in with a group where association is more important than creativity, that would be a great boon to her career. And if you can't get into the poggers community through talent, then just buy your way in. Just throw money at some of the most popular creators to get involved with your event without regard of profit. And if it doesn't work, what does Anissa care? It's Ian's money after all.
Well, yeah,
We just know that we're very aware that we're fine, and we can do this for a few years without taking any sort of salary.
But
so
don't. Why would you do that? I just don't. I want you guys to
Just
take care of
because it's-
yourselves.
Yeah. Well, we are taken care of. We're good. We're smart. We're adults.
Yeah, but why are you
so-
going to dig into your whatever? Okay.
So why is Anissa trying to please these streamers? Well, because her and Ian's career needed a rebrand, after how devastating the OnlyFans drama and Sam High drama was for their image. Anissa wants to associate herself with a group of creators who care less about making good content and more about branding. She also sees their audience as a judgment-free zone when it comes to her questionable adult content. This is one of the main reasons why Ian has been going on this apology tour, as his old reputation of being this edgy comedian will not gel well with people like Hassan or Ludwig. He twists this narrative by saying he's genuinely trying to change due to personal growth, instead of being honest and admitting he can't make that sort of content anymore due to the changing terms of service. I mean, Max Mofo and Anything for Views have been honest about it. Why can't Ian? Now that his former fanbase hates him, he has more motivation to assimilate into this friend group. Creator Clash is now just an event for Ian and Anissa to morally posture how safe and accepting they are, while flat out slandering those they deem risky. Anissa in particular has stated how she does not like unpredictable people.
I don't like unpredictable people, period. I just don't. When you work with people, you have to accept that you're inviting chaos, and you can watch the chaos and try and guide it softly as much as you can, but when you try to grab onto it and control it, you're only asking for pain on your end and pain for the event. And sometimes you really do have to make the call of I have to take my hands completely off and just accept that I'm working with unpredictable people.
This is why they kicked Froggy Fresh out of the second Creator Clash. He's not predictable. He's not as easy to manipulate as the other fighters, as seen with the text messages Ian leaked between him and Froggy. They also don't like how unpredictable Sam Hyde is, which is why he was banned from the first creator clash, and labeled a business risk.
If anyone saw the documentary Getting Away with It, we worked with Sam Hyde for a period, and it was tough. You know, he was wanting to put on his own show, and he did, and it was funny, but he's not a super cooperative guy. He's very unpredictable. So involving him in our event just isn't a good idea. I think most people would.
Business risk.
I think most people would understand that.
Yeah, it's a huge business risk. I mean,
I find this funny because if anything, they are business risks. I mean, the second event lost a shitload of money. Also, despite how edgy Sam's comedy is, nothing is more of a business risk than having a porn website as one of your sponsors, and having various degenerate ethos like Anissa and Amaranth taking part as staff. Honestly, the problem with these creator events is that it's just a way for these people to brag about how amazing their community is, without showcasing their hard work, and then excluding those that don't fit their specific set of morals. You'll never see a more risque streamer win an award. That's why many of these winners are random people only terminally online Twitch users know. They'd rather give those awards to them than anyone controversial. For example, the winner of Best Streamed Event should have been, well, Fish Tank Live. It made over $1 million and actually produced entertaining content, but these LA influencers have a hate boner for Sam Hyde and MDE, so don't even expect them to mention him.
I find it bizarre that this one man who's not doing anything has turned into the boogeyman. That like a bunch of LA people just fear, to the point that they cannot even say his name. It's so bizarre.
Just like with normal celebrities, this friend group is always getting themselves into loads of different scandals. They've done a decent job at covering them up, or making sure people forget about them. I won't. There's quite a few I want to mention, but first we'll go over the fiasco that was the Streamer Awards after party. Basically, Justin Minks got really drunk, and QT Cinderella decided to publicly blast her for this. She wrote on Twitter, "You were drunk before the after party. I almost had you thrown out of the show because you were yelling and making everyone uncomfortable. I've tried everything with you. Rehab, everything. I hope this is your rock bottom. Get help." Wow, QTC, I like that one example you gave. Now, Minx isn't innocent in the situation, but she clearly has a massive drinking problem her friends are reluctant to help her with. I mean, for years, others in the streamer community were basically encouraging it.
Isn't this a turnoff? This is such a...
Melina, please, Melina, she actually can't. She actually can't.
Listen to him! He's cocking us!
Melina.
You're not supposed to do it!
No, she can't.
Do it. Okay, I'll put it back in the camera.
She actually can't. Stop. She actually can't. What's wrong with you? Stop.
QTC also lied about Minx not having a seizure, a statement she walked back on later.
Apparently, upon walking her out, she went limp with the intention of making it harder to kick her out. You know, dead body weight is much harder to that. And in doing so, then
tactical.
Yeah, tactical. Some other stuff happens. All of a sudden, she's just laying on the ground, limp, and no longer cooperating and getting removed from the party.
QTC pretty much used the situation as an excuse to virtue signal about how good of a friend she is, before blacklisting Minx in the poggers community. Wow, what a good friend. I hope when I'm going through addiction, my friends throw me under the bus.
Basically, my take on this is pretty much that Minx is damaged goods. Kinda no reason to interact with her anymore. Her career's on the decline, but she still has enough clout to cause trouble. So I think that Cutie Cinderella's trying to get her to die sooner. I can understand detaching yourself from an addict, but I can't understand putting them under massive amounts of public scrutiny unless you wanted them to kill themselves.
Minx isn't the only streamer they've thrown under the bus. There's also Adriana Lee. Now, remember when all the big streamers were trying to get gambling off Twitch? Well, basically, this started because It's Slicker scammed his fans for more gambling money. This led to streamers like Pokimane and Mizkif calling him out and asking Twitch to do something about gambling. One of the defenders of gambling was Trainwreck, resulting in beef between him and Mizkif. Trainwreck then dropped a bombshell, exposing Mizkif and various other streamers in the poggers community of covering up a sexual assault. The victim in question was Adriana Lee, who alleges she was sexually assaulted by Crazy Slick, not to be confused with It's Slicker. When this initially happened in 2021, Mizkif sent his at-the-time girlfriend, Mai Higa, and friend, Mitch Jones, over to Adriana to get the full story out of her. Maya gaslit Adriana into changing certain parts of the story, and subtly threatened her. Then, Mizkif began downplaying the situation, and told other streamers to not interact with Adriana.
Did Miz explicitly give direction to you and Maya and fucking whoever the fuck else was in that room to go to Adriana's house and to quote unquote downplay the situation or find a way to save Slick's ass? Yes or no?
The answer to that is yes.
Other girls then came forward with other accusations against Crazy Slick, like his history of sexual harassment. Once this all came to light, streamers like Pokimane and Hassan also tried downplaying the situation, though in a more subtle way.
Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail me like you did those girls to cover up those sexual assaults, you fucking scumbag piece of shit? You want to come at me and make shit up, then you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure. I'm lost.
I don't even. Holy shit. Are you going to send Maya and Mitch to railroad and blackmail like, dude, all those girls cover up the sexual assaults, you fucking
Wait, what
scumbag
does it
piece of
mean
shit?
to
You want to come at me and make shit up?
railroad
Then
him?
you better be sure you don't live in a glass house, you insecure pussy.
I literally just read it. What does it mean to railroad him?
I don't know. What the fuck?
They fucking knew about this, and stayed quiet to not ruin their community's reputation. They pretended to care about this, with certain streamers like Ludwig covering parts of the story. OTK, the streaming organization Miskiff is in, said they put together an internal investigation. This was done to privatize any dirt they found on themselves.
Initially talking about OTK investigating themselves because they did immediately make it clear they were sending it off to the Jackson Walker LLP, or a third-party investigation firm. I think the reason why people are saying that now is because they didn't publicize the results. Of course, I haven't finished the video yet. I wonder if Ludwig has the same take on it that I do, but I think it's a huge disservice to take something so public and then privatize the information that was found. It makes it very hard to take their word for it and trust everything was done fairly, over the board, everything treated equally, and reaching this conclusion. I just think this needed to be public.
Nothing ever happened, and Miskiff was simply given a slap on the wrist. He was briefly kicked out of OTK, and then brought right back in when another scandal happened. OTK's founder, Rich Campbell, had accusations of his own, which had been covered up for about a year. Who knows how many other cases of sexual assault have happened within this community that these guys are trying to cover up. If they really cared, they'd, call the police. This is all for PR, to make it seem like they care, before silently blacklisting Adriana Lee. They did this for the same reason they did it to Minx, because these people became a serious threat to the community's reputation. Though in this particular situation, Minx isn't innocent either. She briefly defended Crazy Slick, though eventually took her statements back. Since then, this collective has swept these controversies under the rug, with Miskiff and friends being invited to the Streamer Awards with front row seats. I find this also funny because these guys are making such a big deal about the accusations Amaranth made. Amaranth fired up a Twitch stream in late 2022, where she revealed a load of information about herself. She claimed she's been married for some time now, a secret she kept, so her horny fans could think they can have a chance of her. She showed texts that insist her husband has been controlling over her, by forcing her to do OnlyFans, and he's had control over her bank account. She then happened to get a phone call from this husband, who doesn't know she's live, despite her stating how controlling he is. Like, how would he not know you're on live stream shit-talking him? All the while, she's crying to pull at people's heartstrings. And many of the big streamers believed her without question, with the main consensus being that if you don't believe her 100%, you're a horrible person.
Even when she's doing it live, it's very obvious that there are still people that don't fucking believe her. And part of the reason why people don't believe her is because she's a woman. Men often do not want to be empathetic to the plight of women in situations like this. And also because she's a sex worker. So like, it's just like a double bind of doubly misogynistic shit where people just like don't see you as a human being in any meaningful capacity.
We don't even know who this husband guy is. Not to mention what his side of the story is. Again, the only proof is a phone call and text messages, screenshots of text messages from someone named Sherry. Yeah, I don't think it's a guy's name. Apparently her husband's name was Nick. Why couldn't she just show the actual messages? If she was making screenshots to post them online, then she neglected to do that. Only 2 days after the allegations were made, she announced that the situation had been dealt with. It only took 2 days for you to get complete control over everything, huh? She also implied she'd stop doing OnlyFans, since her husband wouldn't be pressuring her anymore, and then went right back to spreading her gaping anus for her 14-year-old fans. So why would Amaranth do this? Well, multiple reasons. 1. Publicity. All the big streamers ended up talking about her, presenting her as an innocent, good person. 2. It gives her an excuse to divorce her husband and make her fans think she's single again. 3. More money. She gets to collect some money from her husband. So why do these guys believe Amaranth and not Adriana? Well, simple. Because Amaranth has a lot more influence. That's all these cunts care about.
The thing that grinds my gears is the people who say that she has nothing to gain and everything to lose. No, she's a Twitch streamer. She has nothing to lose. Twitch streamers can literally get away with anything. You know why? Because they spend 8+ hours a day brainwashing their audience. Miskiff was literally covering up a sexual assault 3 months ago, and now all his fans say it was fake. Like what the fuck? There's literally a video of him admitting it. I maintain to this day that Hassan Piker could go into a school with a gun, kill a series of children. You could have a full recording of this event, and you show it to his audience, and they would respond, whoa, 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 whoa. Where's the full context? If this is actually fake, her audience isn't going to care. You don't exactly watch Amaranth for her wit and intellect. You watch her for her cracking tits. Do not believe a woman on the internet just because she cries on live stream. All these female Twitch streamers do it. Alinity did it, Pokimane did it, Emaru did it.
These are definitely the biggest scandals, but there are many others I've already mentioned throughout this video. There's XQC's kick deal, and Pokimane's manipulation of him, Hassan interviewing a terrorist, the Atrioc deepfake situation, and way more. There's constant infighting in this community, but then they cover it up once each situation has died down, and they pretend to be friends again. Their audiences don't seem to care, as they believe these guys have out looking for outside opinions. The poggers community is basically one big nepotism club. These guys only care about wealth and reputation, and will ostracize anyone that could cause harm to that. They pretend to be these kind, accepting, humble creators who want to provide interesting content for their viewers, when that couldn't be any more false. They are spiteful, rash, hateful, and filled with ego. Their content is also lazy, since they rely more on their audiences having parasocial relationships with them. They have no strong sets of morals, which is why many of these guys come off as hypocrites.
You can't market explicit material through objectification and then preach about how men need to treat women better. You normalize and capitalize off of antisocial behavior just to turn around and detest those who are different than you. You laugh at and mock other celebrities' domestic disputes only for the same issues to lie within your own community. You are not moral or good people. It may be what you market, but it's not what you practice. The ways you'll celebrate an 18-year-old's ability to sell herself, Jesus. But if someone criticizes or challenges them in any way, they're somehow the bad guy. It's disgusting.
These are streamers that nobody should be looking up to. Now, as stated earlier, not every single member of the poggers community is bad, but those I heavily mentioned are people like Hassan, Asmongold, Denims, Nisa, Caseytron, XQC, QT Cinderella, Ludwig, Amaranth, Frogan, Pokimane, Mizkiff, Maya Higa, and Crazy Slick. These are not good people. If you are fans of these people, question yourself why. It's okay to be a casual watcher of somebody, but you shouldn't be idolizing these guys. The thing is, there's good livestream content out there, and not all reaction content is lazy slop, but those at the top, who already made their millions, don't care about producing good content. These streamers will literally sit there for 8 hours watching TV shows, and complain how hard it is. This group won't be around forever though, as these scandals are slowly getting to them. There's quite a bit of division now, and those like Hassan are publicly unraveling. Like, bro, what gave you the nerve to post this shit? Thanks for watching this long ass video, and don't forget to watch the previous episodes of the series if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Also leave suggestions
Yeah, but let's
below
skip the
what I should
first
cover
part
next.
because that was a little too personal for me. That was a good video. Yeah, I skipped this part because I don't care for the intro. That's bullshit. Nobody wants to see an intro. This is a little bit too personal. And I disagree as well. Yeah, no shit, I disagree. But I'm not gonna get into that. That's pointless. So, good video, dude.